Today marks the release of my NFL Mock Draft 3.0, and I wanted to make this easier for everybody by just putting the mock draft in the description box, along with a brief explanation, pick by pick, and why the pick is what it is. But that didn't really suit well for YouTube, as I couldn't get the video uploaded because apparently it was too long of a description. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read this off pick by pick, but I'll still put down the mock draft in the description box because most of you just want to see who your team selected, and that's completely fine, or just want to see the top 5 or the top 10, but either or where your favorite prospect is. But either way, if you just want to see who your favorite team is or any of that kind of stuff, it's open in the description box. But if you want to wait for an explanation on who your team selects, then you're welcome to do that. But I just wanted to help out everybody because I know we're so busy in life sometimes and we don't have time to look at 15 or 20-minute NFL mock draft videos. So I just wanted to help you out. And even if so, if you need the explanation, I'll provide it in the comment section. I can even do that as well if you need me to type that out again. But we'll start off at Cleveland with pick number 1. Now I'm going with Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC. I've been saying quite a bit lately about Saquon Barkley's better pick for the number 1 pick because he's a once-in-a-decade type of player. But I think with the Jets trading it from 6 to 3, eliminates their chances of getting a quarterback that they want at number 4, and Darnold had an impressive pro day. At number 2, I have the Giants going with Saquon Barkley, running back out of Penn State. The Giants are going to be in the spotlight because they could do 2 different things. Well, now that's 3 different things because I did type this out earlier in the week. This was before the Giants traded Jason Pierre-Paul. So now they have 3 different things they can do. Find your quarterback and learn under Eli Manning for a season or 2, or they can draft Barkley to improve their running game. In this mock, I said the Giants draft Barkley at number 2 instead of trying to get Jake Browning or Drew Lock next season. Or now they can go with Bradley Chubb at number 2. But I think they go Saquon Barkley. Number 3 are the New York Jets going with Josh Rosen, quarterback out of UCLA. Last week, the Jets traded with the Colts to move up from 6 to 3, and this was a smart move. And yeah, remember when I said there was an 87% chance the Jets won't draft at 6? Who doubted me? Will the Jets take their franchise quarterback in Josh Rosen, as I think out of all the QBs in this draft, he has the most potential? Number 4, I have the Cleveland Browns going with Bradley Chubb, defensive end of NC State. With the Browns already finding their quarterback and Barkley being off the board, with this 4th overall pick, I think the Browns are willing to settle with the best player available in this draft at this point. And that player, in my opinion, is Bradley Chubb. And just think about a Myles Garrett and Bradley Chubb pairing. Number 5, the Denver Broncos with Baker Mayfield, quarterback out of Oklahoma. Despite the Broncos signing Case Keenum in free agency, I still think the Broncos need to look for a quarterback in this draft. Ever since Peyton Manning rode off in the sunset, every Broncos QB has underachieved. This is a smart pick for Denver in case it turns out Case Keenum is only a one-season wonder. Number 6, I have the Colts going with Quenton Nelson, guard out of Notre Dame. The Colts have so many different needs they need to address in the draft. But the most important thing they need to address is offensive line, considering Andrew Luck needs protection. As one of my partners in crime here on YouTube, Sam McBuckets, said that whoever would draft Quenton Nelson would get a big boost in the running game. This is also foreshadowing that the Colts go with a running back in round 2. Number 7, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going with Minkah Fitzpatrick, cornerback out of Alabama. Is this who most experts would have Tampa Bay picking at number 7? Probably not. But if you think about it, this is a good pick for 2 reasons. 1, the Buccaneers were 32nd in pass defense in 2017. Number 2, Fitzpatrick at this point will be a steal considering he has top 5 talent, and with Barkley, Nelson, and Chubb already selected, this could work out great for them with him being the best player available in the draft at this point. 8, the Chicago Bears, Denzel Ward, cornerback out of Ohio State. The Bears are one of those interesting teams to look out for in about 2 or 3 years if they make their offseason moves smartly and they have already signed Allen Robinson in free agency. So the second biggest need is a cornerback, and Denzel Ward is the best corner on the board. Number 9 are the San Francisco 49ers with Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame. The goal for the 49ers this offseason is to build pieces around Jimmy Garoppolo. Adding Mike McGlinchey to the 49ers offensive line will build better protection for Jimmy Garoppolo, as the 49ers are a team that may be 3 or 4 more additions away from being a serious playoff contender. Number 10, I have the Oakland Raiders with Tremaine Edmunds, linebacker of Virginia Tech. The Raiders were a disappointment last season. However, with new coach John Gruden, the Raiders seem poised to get back to the winning days in the early 2000s, and an underrated prospect like Edmunds could be a beautiful fit for Gruden's system. We all know John Gruden wants grinders, and you will get that out of Tremaine Edmunds. Number 11 are the Miami Dolphins with Roquan Smith, linebacker of Georgia. This may not be the number one need for the Dolphins, as they also need to find a wide receiver to replace Landry, but Roquan Smith is the best available player at this point. At pick number 11, this is the point in the draft where Roquan Smith is becoming a steal, and you never know. We could see a team in the teens, like the Chargers or Cowboys, try to trade up and take Smith too. Number 12 are the Buffalo Bills going with Josh Allen, quarterback out of Wyoming. The Bills get their quarterback in Josh Allen after trading Tyrod Taylor to the Browns. This could get interesting, though, because the Cardinals may try to trade up to get into the top 10 to get Allen. And as this first round has turned into a 6-team race for 4 quarterbacks, in my opinion. And out of the 4 quarterbacks in this draft, and out of the 4 quarterbacks, if this draft holds the way it's going, Josh Allen is set up to have the most success out of the gate. Number 13 are the Washington Redskins with Vita, defensive tackle of Washington. The Redskins had a bunch of struggles in 2017. They need a player like Vita, considering the Redskins were ranked 32nd in rush defense last season. This would be an excellent pick for the Redskins, although an offensive lineman or wide receiver could be the pick here as well. Number 14 are the Green Bay Packers going with Josh Jackson, cornerback out of Iowa. There are holes everywhere in that Packers defense. The pick can almost be anything defensive, but the biggest problem for the Packers is their secondary, and Josh Jackson will be a fine addition for this Packers defense, although this could be considered a reach because Jackson had a really great 2017 season with the Hawkeyes. He didn't really come to form as a corner until his junior season with Iowa. Number 15 are the Arizona Cardinals with Lamar Jackson, quarterback out of Louisville. This is coming down to just 2 guys for me, Lamar Jackson or Derwin James, the safety out of Florida State. But logically, the Cardinals need to find a quarterback because can we be honest? Is Sam Bradford a franchise quarterback? Probably not. And plus, if Lamar Jackson improves his accuracy, he can be an excellent QB in the NFL. Number 16 are the Baltimore Ravens going with Calvin Ridley, wide receiver of Alabama. The Ravens signed Michael Crabtree in free agency, but the Ravens need to find a number 1 wide receiver as Bashard Perriman hasn't lived to his full potential and Mike Wallace is gone. Calvin Ridley would be a game changer for this Ravens offense, and we know how much Ozzie Newsome loves Alabama players. Number 17 are the Los Angeles Chargers going with Derwin James, safety out of Florida State. The Chargers are a team that is on the rise, it appears. After starting 2017 0-4, they managed to win game after game after game, but fell short of making the playoffs. They have a young defense, and I think they try to make their defense stronger with a pick in Derwin James, who has top 5 talent, and it's astonishing if Derwin James falls any further in this draft. Number 18 are the Seattle Seahawks with Mark Andrews, tight end of Oklahoma. The Seahawks have lost a lot in this offseason, but the biggest thing that they have lost, their top tight ends, Jimmy Graham and Luke Wilson. Mark Andrews was Baker Mayfield's go-to guy at Oklahoma, and he would be a good weapon for Russell Wilson in the red zone. Number 19, I had the Dallas Cowboys with Cortland Sutton, wide receiver of SMU. And yes, this was made before the Cowboys signed Allen Hurns in free agency. But I still think this could be the pick. The Cowboys are lacking finding a number 2 wide receiver to complement Dez Bryant. Cortland Sutton will provide a role in the Cowboys receiving game, as it's something the Cowboys could definitely use moving forward. Number 20 are the Detroit Lions going with Sony Michel, running back out of Georgia. The Lions may have signed LeGarrette Blount for agency, but they should consider Michel for two reasons. One, the deal is only a one-year deal. Two, Blount's getting up there in age for running back, and with this pick, it can take a load off. It can take the load off of Matthew Stafford a little bit. Number 21 are the Cincinnati Bengals going with Connor Williams, offensive tackle out of Texas. The Bengals need some help on that offensive line, and Connor Williams is a guy that could fit in quite nicely as he can provide some protection for Andy Dalton and setting up some holes for the running game as the Bengals have struggled in the last two seasons with offensive line. Number 22 are the Buffalo Bills going with Christian Kirk, wide receiver of Texas A&M. In this mock draft, the Bills got their quarterback in Josh Allen. So what do the Bills do with their second first-round pick? A wide receiver for him to throw to. Not only is Christian Kirk an explosive wide receiver, but he's also very explosive in special teams. Number 23 are the Los Angeles Rams with Arden Key, defensive end out of LSU. The Rams get a steal here in Arden Key. Yes, he may have some off-the-field issues and the injuries, but take those away and Arden Key's a top 10 talent. Plus, this is one of the holes the Rams need to fill on their defense if they want to get over that next hump. And that next hump, I mean winning a playoff game. Number 24 are the Carolina Panthers going with Isaiah Wynn, offensive tackle out of Georgia. The Panthers are a couple pieces away from getting back to another Super Bowl, and the offensive line is something the Panthers should have addressed in 2016 because we saw how weak the Panthers' offensive line is in Super Bowl 50. This is an opportunity for them to get better on the line. Number 25, the Tennessee Titans with Billy Price, center of Ohio State. The Titans have made some moves in the offseason, but they need to make a few more in the draft. Billy Price is listed as a center, but he can also play guard. The Titans get help on the interior of the offensive line. Number 26 are the Atlanta Falcons with Marcus Davenport, defensive end of University of Texas San Antonio. Marcus Davenport isn't someone many people are talking about because of the school he went to. But if you see his tape, you'll know this could be the steal of the draft. Plus, the Falcons find their replacement of Adrian Claiborne, as this can add more depth to that Falcons defense. Number 27 are the New Orleans Saints with Orlando Brown, offensive tackle of Oklahoma. There are several needs the Saints have to focus on. The harsh reality is 2018 might be the last chance for the Saints to win the Super Bowl in the Drew Brees era. The Saints with this pick, who would draft an offensive lineman in the first round for the second straight year, Cowboys 2.0 with a question mark. Number 28 are the Pittsburgh Steelers going with Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker to Boise State. We welcome a new player in the first round in a Johnny Talk Sports mock draft. The Steelers do need to replace Ryan Shazier, and Leighton Vander Esch has first-round talent, but like other prospects from Group of 5 schools, don't get much recognition. Number 29, the Jacksonville Jaguars going with DJ Moore, wide receiver of Maryland. DJ Moore has been getting some buzz lately as a possible first-round pick, and in this mock draft he is. The Jaguars need to find a wide receiver after losing Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns in free agency, and I will talk a little bit more about that at the end. Number 30 are the Minnesota Vikings with Colton Miller, offensive tackle of UCLA. The Vikings are having a good free agency season. They won the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes, and they signed Sheldon Richardson. They may be a few pieces away from being a serious contender in the near future, if they're not already. With this 30th pick, the Vikings take an offensive tackle as their O-line needs to be restructured a little bit. Number 31 are the New England Patriots going with Jair Alexander, cornerback out of Louisville. As unpredictable as the NFL draft might really be sometimes, this pick could be obvious for New England at number 31. A big need for the Patriots is secondary, in particular a cornerback. With this pick, the Patriots find their replacement for Malcolm Butler. Number 32 are the Philadelphia Eagles going with Rashaan Evans, linebacker of Alabama. A top priority for the Eagles if they want to repeat as Super Bowl champions is a linebacker. Rashaan Evans seems like a guy that's prepared, coming from Alabama, a team that is known to have an NFL type defense. So that is my NFL Mock Draft 3.0. Let me just address something real quick. I think there could be 3 teams to look out for in this NFL draft as we get to draft night, as we are 1 month away from the NFL draft. So 3 teams I want to keep an eye out for, or that we should all keep an eye out for. The Giants at pick number 2. What will they do? Will they take a quarterback? Will they take Saquon Barkley if the Browns panic and go with Sam Darnold? Or if the Browns do go with Sam Darnold? Or do they completely roll the dice on someone like Bradley Chubb, the best defensive player in this draft class? So the Giants have 3 things they can do at pick number 2, and it's something to keep an eye out on. The second team I am interested in looking at is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Could they trade up into the teens area and maybe take one of those 3 wide receivers? Could we see them trade up to draft Calvin Ridley or Christian Kirk or Courtland Sutton? That'll be interesting to see. And the third team, this is kind of a bold one to look out for, but the Arizona Cardinals. Like I said, I think this is a 6-race team to get 4 franchise quarterbacks. Although I don't really think that any of these 4 quarterbacks are necessarily going to be a good franchise valued quarterback, I think it's a 6-team race for 4 quarterbacks. So I think it's a race between the Browns, Giants, Jets, Broncos, Bills, and Cardinals for Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen. Maybe even add in Lamar Jackson. Either way, at least one team is getting left out of the quarterback race. And I think Lamar Jackson, I think if he falls in the right system, he could do very well in the NFL. So the Cardinals, if that mock draft even holds up, if that's even close to what the actual draft's going to be, will the Cardinals roll the dice on Lamar Jackson, or do they want to trade up to try to get a Josh Allen or a Baker Mayfield? And do the Cardinals have the resources and the desire to do that? So that's my NFL Mock Draft 3.0. Like and subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends and family. I will see you in my next video. Have a wonderful day, everyone.